To the crew of the Raumschiff Eberswalde, Professor James Moriarty of the Starship Enterprise at your service. Or rather, Daniel Davis at your service. How are you, my friends? What a pleasure to hear from a Star Trek group in Germany. I'm very excited to talk to you. It's my pleasure. Benjamin requested that I speak about my experience on the Paramount Studios lot during the episodes that I shot way, way back, nearly 30 years ago. So my memory is a bit vague on some things, but some things I clearly remember. Benjamin is correct in stating that the dedicated sets to Star Trek were on stages 8 and 9. However, on my first day of shooting Elementary Dear Data, I was on stage 16, which is known by the designers of the costumes and sets in particular as Planet Hell, because of the number and frequency of turnarounds on that particular soundstage. I walked in, and there was the London street, which you will recall, replete with a boat sitting in the harbor, warehouses and horses and carriages and tons of extras. I've learned quite recently that that set cost $200,000 American dollars. Now, in the 80s, that was $200,000, a lot of money, but in 2020 money, it's about $500,000 for one set, which we used for 2 days, and then it was torn down, and another set for the next episode was built in its place. Absolutely extraordinary that so much time, money, and effort went into that show. In every episode, not just my episodes, but in that one in particular. I was stunned. Now, Professor Moriarty's lab was on stage 9, I believe. Memory's not so good about that, but I think it must have been, because they kept it for a few weeks after we finished the episode, because Mr. Roddenberry was not pleased with something in the script. Something that revealed that Picard was basically lying to Moriarty about him not being able to leave the holodeck. Because, of course, the drawing that Moriarty made and gave to Data of the Enterprise, Data took to Picard, and if a piece of paper could leave the holodeck, then so could I. So it made Picard seem like a liar, and kept him from sounding like someone who was going to kill me, because I said, if you don't retrieve me some way, then you will do murder, which was another line that Mr. Roddenberry didn't like. He didn't want Picard being thought of as a liar and a killer, or a murderer, so they changed the line to, then you must do murder, which was a tame version of, then you must kill me. Same thing, isn't it? At any rate, I finished the episode and was called back 3 weeks later to make those corrections. It was extraordinary in the sense that the producers at Paramount, the people who are responsible for clearances, had failed to realize that the episode using Holmes' characters was not in the public domain. Even though it had been 50 years, the Conan Doyle Society held the rights in perpetuity throughout the universe, a phrase I love to hear, especially when we're talking about residuals for other things that I've done, and that they had a bit of trouble from the Conan Doyle people, actually rather substantial legal trouble, which finally they resolved, which is why the second episode, which the fans had been demanding for several years, Ship in a Bottle, was delayed for nearly, 3 seasons, I think. I can't remember. That's something, again, that's vague in my mind. But it happened that they could shoot it when I was on hiatus from The Nanny. I had to try and grow my hair back out again. It was very interesting to go back and revisit all of that. And, of course, I was delighted. Patrick Stewart was so welcoming. When I walked on the set the first day, he said, "And here's Mr. Davis raising the bar again," which made my heart leap with joy that he would think so highly, at least highly enough, to say something like that, whether he meant it or not. But I'm sure he did. We've seen each other. I've seen the cast, some of the crew, all of them at Star Trek conventions in subsequent years. I'm always happy to attend whenever I'm invited. In fact, I'm supposed to do a Star Trek convention in Stuttgart this coming November, I think. But whether that is happening now, I'm not sure because of the lockdown, the pandemic. I don't think Americans are able to travel to any countries in the European Union or anywhere else for that matter. We can't even go to Canada. So if I do come to a Star Trek convention in Germany, I hope that the Raumschiff Eberswalde will show up. I'm sure my pronunciation is absolutely murdering your ears because I'm not very good with languages. I'm trying phonetically. At any rate, my friends, I hope that answers a little bit of your question, and thank you very much for asking. Take care, be well, and I look forward to maybe meeting you all someday. Okay? Bye-bye. Or auf Wiedersehen.